into a circle. Would you care to explain that a little bit further? Because I also have a fascination with ravens.
Well, so the name was evolved from an experience I had with my first harvest. In 1976, I went out to pick up the grapes, which were supposed to be on a truck late in the evening. And I got there, and there were 50-pound lug boxes spread over 4 acres of vineyard, and there was a rainstorm. And I totally panicked. There was nobody around to help me, and I said, oh my God, I've spent my money on these grapes, and they're mine, and they're going to drown in the mud here, and I got to get as many up as I could. So I began running down the roads and picking up the grapes and carrying them over to the truck and putting them on the truck. So you pick them up 4 times, by the way, before you put them on the truck, so it's really 16,000 grapes. While I was doing that, these 2 huge ravens floated into the vineyard and began sort of this raven song. They weren't calling it. I mean, they had this kind of deep, throaty roll, and they sat in this tree next to the vineyard, and I thought, this is a little strange, and I was thinking Edgar Allan Poe and Nevermore, and like Thoughts of the Sweet and Lenore and Lost, and it was getting dark, and I turned on the truck headlights, and it had begun to rain around because there was a rainstorm going on. And I thought, oh my God, it's just ugly. And it rained around me, but it didn't rain on me. And the ravens stuck out for the entire time. And I thought, oh my God, this is really amazing. And so I just kept loading the truck. And I got it loaded, and I took it down to Joe Swan's, which is where I was crushing it. And Joe Swan and I dumped the boxes in the crusher. And when I got there, at about 1 o'clock that morning, we finished up, and the skies opened up and poured. It was like, what they say, PFM, pure fucking magic. And so we, so I thought, you lie in bed after stuff like that. You can look at the ceiling and kind of go, oh my God, what happened? And what happened was that those ravens were magic. I remembered that ravens had been the Inuit Indian legend creator god, and had found a man in a pot on the beach, and had stole the sun, the moon, the stars, and water from other gods to keep his creatures alive. And I thought, wow, I've just run into my first trickster god. So I was living in Berkeley, and I had long hair, and like I was susceptible to the idea of totem. I was reading Carlos Castaneda and the Yaqui Way and things like that. And then, by 1978, I was really on the road to failure. I had run out of money. I hadn't sold a single bottle of wine because I hadn't bottled any wine. I didn't have any money to bottle the wine. And it was pretty grim. And a friend of mine said, oh, maybe you'd like to go in an opera. Well, just cheer me up. Take me to something like Rossini or the Barber of Seville, or something good like that. And he said, no, let's go to Lucia di Lammermoor. He said, Pavarotti and Sutherland are singing tonight, so maybe you'd like to do that. And I said, well, okay, but that's a pretty grim opera. He said, yeah, it'll make your life look pretty good. And so in fact, it's like this really grim opera, where everybody dies, and Lucia goes mad and dies, and she kills her would-be husband because she didn't want to be married to him, but she wants to marry Eduardo Ravenswood instead. And that's a short synopsis. And Eduardo Ravenswood is the name of the would-be Romeo character. It's kind of Romeo and Juliet gone worse. So he in the opera actually kills himself so he can be in heaven with Lucia. But it turns out it's based on a novel by Scott called The Bride of Lammermoor. Same guy who wrote Ivanhoe. And in the novel, it's foretold that he will drowned in the quicksand by a soothsayer of some sort. And so in the novel, he rides off into the quicksand in a daze after all these things have happened and drowns in the quicksand. And I thought, well, starting a small line, there's a lot like drowning in the quicksand. Ravenswood, I kind of like the name, so it's like, so I took the name Ravenswood because it really caught the angst. And obviously, I didn't, drown in the quicksand. It all worked out fine.